So let's talk about some triangle definitions. The first one being an altitude. Well, the altitude is a line segment drawn from a vertex perpendicular to the opposite side. So a triangle can actually have three altitudes, one from each vertex. So if we have our triangle to begin with, the altitude comes from this vertex, and it's whatever line makes it perpendicular to this opposite side. So it doesn't necessarily bisect it, it just makes it so we have a 90-degree angle here. So for example, something like this would come straight down, bisect it, but notice how this line segment is not necessarily cut in half. We can make three perpendicular bisectors out of a triangle though. A median, on the other hand, is drawn to whatever the middle point of the opposite side is. So if I want to draw a median from this vertex to this opposite side, it's the middle point, whatever cuts this in half, and we draw a line through it. So it's not perpendicular, but it does cut these two in half. So a perpendicular bisector of a side is a line drawn perpendicular to the side of a triangle through its midpoint. So it doesn't necessarily come from a vertex. So for example, this one might come from a vertex, cut it in half, and make a 90-degree angle. But a triangle like this, to make a line that's 90 degrees and cuts it in half, it doesn't necessarily go through the vertex. So perpendicular bisector, perpendicular means 90 degrees, cuts in half. So it's kind of a mixture of the two before. Altitude makes 90 degrees, median cuts it in half, perpendicular does both, but it doesn't necessarily go through the vertex. The fourth definition is an angle bisector. To bisect something means to cut in half, right? So just like with how a perpendicular bisector cut a line in half, an angle bisector cuts an angle in half. So if we want to bisect this angle up here, we would cut it in half. So it doesn't necessarily do anything specific to this side, but we'll at least know that these two angles are now the same. They're equivalent.